Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with some more World of Tanks, and today we are taking a look at the Centurion Mark 7/1. It's been a while, been waiting for this one, looking forward to it, and I am pretty happy with it. I do have my complaints. We will, of course, cover them in great detail once we get back to the garage, but for now I'm going to focus on the game at hand while talking about a few of its main features along the way. But first and foremost, this is a sniping tank. I'd play it similar to how you would play maybe the Panther 1 and 2. It's all about the gun. It is all about the magnificent gun. In fact, this is the only tier 9 medium tank to have a tier 10 gun. And that's why it's awesome. It's a gun on wheels. It's a glass cannon. The hull is garbage. You get ammo racked all the time. You want to sit back and snipe. You want to support other tanks. And right now, it would seem that I only have a few units here to support. They are waiting to find targets coming around this northern side. We do have a Yog Tiger 8.8. Rolling up, perhaps. Got to be careful because I don't want to expose my left flank there. I think what's going to happen is I'm actually going to come back around and take some cover by these houses so that I can cover two sides. Tank only does about 40 kilometers an hour, which it's not horrible, but it's not great either. I would say that it is not fast enough to be considered a flanking tank. The 950 horsepower engine is not bad, but it'll get you to that speed pretty quickly. There's the Yogd down. And there are the northern targets. We will be long-range fire support. There's another Yogd. That's a track. I probably should have centered that shot a little bit better. Also an E50, which would be a nice juicy target. Giving me some of that side armor. He's getting tore up. Doesn't know how to play his tank, apparently. There's a T-54. I'd like to focus on this E50, get him out of the mix as soon as possible. They do have the lead, but I think we're going to finish these guys pretty quickly. T-54 takes a hit. The E-50's down. They've got a T-34 in the distance as well. Focusing on that E-50. Reload time is pretty rough on this tank. Oh. It's about 5 seconds. You'll probably get a little more out of it depending on what kind of equipment you have and the level of your crew. I thought I would just take a blind shot there. Come on, somebody light them up, because we have a really good position here. This is what this tank is all about. This is how I would use it. Oh, T-54 tried to rush out, gets killed easily. Yog Tiger takes some hits. Taking a look at the mini-map, they've got contact south as well. Game does look like it is turning for our favor. Oh. What do we got? KV-5, pen no damage. Probably should have aimed for, well, T-34 would have been a tough target. I'm assuming I have decent camouflage back here as well, so I don't really want to move too far forward unless we really start dominating. Damaging multiple targets. T-34 would actually be the priority here. He's stuck right now, but my reload time is really rough. And he's pulling back. Continuing on with that KV-5. This gun is very satisfying if you haven't noticed by now. Although we are, you know, we are number 2 on the list. But again, tier 10 gun. Nothing you can't handle. There will be some strange bounces once in a while. You always still want to go for flanks as much as possible, but... Oh, what's this guy? Ah, wasted shot. I hate when that happens, especially when your load time is so long. Alright, Yagtire, just a little bit of him sticking out there. This is almost done. They've only got those. Those are the only targets left. Is he going to pop out? We can go after them. But there's nobody else to spot them, so let's start pushing forward just a little bit. Don't get cocky, though. Just because there's only, you know, those two left over here, you really want to be careful because this hull armor is a joke. I'm going to come around this rock. Hopefully they're going to deal with that artillery, take him out of the mix. Not really sure what I'm looking at here. Boom! Not the damage that I would like, but I'll take it. Come on. Oh, reload time? That's the worst thing about the gun, but the damage and penetration is very satisfying. Patton's moving in as our scout. Oh. Oh, he backed out. T-34, I don't think we'll get to him in time. He's going back for the base. So we'll just drive and admire the looks of this tank. It's one of the best looking tanks in the game, of course. Shares the same design as the Mark I. Few cosmetic differences. Oh wow, T-34 manages to take somebody with him. He's going to make his last stand here. And that's it. Taken out by the GW Panther artillery. Love when our artillery is doing a good job. Alright, so that is that. Good game. Fire support. That's what it's about with this unit. You do not want to rush in. This is a sniper. You know, if you manage to get into some flanking maneuvers, go for it, but be careful. You're here to support other tanks. Do not rush in. Do not lead the charge. You are a medium, and your hull armor is useless. It says 121, and, you know, even angled, sloped, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't matter. Tier 7 Panther 1 has no problem penetrating this thing from multiple angles. It's going to be sheer luck if you manage to bounce anything off of this hull. Or at most, if you're going to bounce something, maybe it's off of a scout. That's about it. Everything else, they're going to turn you into Swiss cheese. Do not get into a close quarter engagement. Do not get into a circle strafe game. Don't fight French or any auto-loading tank up close because they will eat you alive. I'm warning you right now. If you own this tank, if you're going to own it, if you want it, or if you see this tank on the battlefield, know what this tank is about. Know your role, but know the role of others. Know your friendly's tanks, because if you see this thing, don't yell at him to push up when you know that his armor is made out of aluminum foil. So that's my warning to everyone. It's just not great. On top of that, the ammo racking problems still exist from the Comet and the Centurion Mark I. So here's just another little comparison from the Mark I. Obviously, the body design is pretty much the same. There's some cosmetic details that they've added to the back and the front, or changed or removed, things like that you can see there. Turret's about the same, has a basket on the 7.1 and a machine gun at the top. Otherwise, they're nearly identical, other than the final gun, of course. But, you know, there's that. I think we discussed the armor and the ammo racking problems. You can get ammo racked from nearly any location, it seems. I'm not sure why that's a problem. Perhaps because it carries a large amount of ammunition. As you can see, I've got 52 rounds just of my main ammo, and then 15 HE, and then some premium as well. So, ammo racking, yeah. Big issue. Big, annoying, horrible issue. Happens all the time. I haven't gotten my crew to 100 yet, but when I do, I'm going to have safe stowage. Some people have been going with wet ammo racks. I don't like going with this because it feels like such a waste compared to something else that can be active for you all the time, you know. Definitely need that gun rammer because the 5-second reload time is really painful. Again, with abilities that might get a little higher, but it's just not enough. And there's that. So let's talk about the good stuff. The good thing is the turret armor is not bad. It will take, a couple of hits. You've got the gun mantle. There are some weak spots here, especially there. These hitboxes these aren't hitboxes, so these don't count where the smoke launchers in these containers are. So you're fine with that. Keep this thing hull down, and you'll be pretty good. Cupola can't really hit that, so not really an issue. This is what it's all about. Tier 10 gun on a Tier 9 medium. As I said before, it is the only Tier 9 medium tank that has a Tier 10 gun on it. This thing is fantastic. Look at that penetration and that damage. That is just awesome. I love this gun. Not only that, but it is accurate. .32 accuracy. Great gun depression, comparable to some of the American tanks. Excellent for hull down firing. 2.3 aim time, not horrible, but just very, very accurate. This is definitely a sniper. Lots of power there. On top of that, your ammunition is really interesting. Look at this. Your primary standard ammo is the armor-piercing composite rigid shell, which on most tanks is premium ammo. So if we look at the Centurion Mark I, APCR is the gold round. And that's the same with most tanks. But on the Mark VII, that's your standard ammo. So that's really, really interesting. However, your premium is HESH, High Explosive Squash Head. And it's terrible. and really, really sad at the same time. Because in real life, HESH is basically C4 packed into a warhead. The idea is that it's supposed to punch the armor and create spalling within the interior. Fragment the inside of the tank in a way to the point where the metal bits are coming off of the hull from the inside, creating shrapnel, killing the crew, creating a shock, a concussion to, well, quite frankly, destroy the insides of a human being. That's what it's supposed to do in real life. It does not do that in this game. There's no programming or code for that in the game. So all it is high explosive with some extra penetration. That's it. It doesn't have any of those mechanics. So that's all you're going to get. But you would think, okay, well, I could live with that. At least it does 300 to 600 massive damage if it manages to pen. I've penned with this stuff on multiple occasions. I never get that damage. I've gotten anywhere between 75 to 170 damage. On French tanks, French artillery even. That's pathetic. That's broken. That does not work. That needs to be addressed. That's busted. And in fact, high explosive ammo in general is garbage in the entire game. But with these so-called special British HESH rounds, you're better off just sticking with your APCR. There's no reason to switch because you might be taking a gamble. Your reload time is so long that you might be thinking, okay, well, let me take out this artillery piece or this French tank with my HE. I'll do massive damage. You switch, you shoot, and you do 150 or less damage when all you would need is maybe one more shot of this to take him out. It's not worth it. This ammo is terrible. I have some there just for testing purposes, and I carry so much of my main ammo that it doesn't really matter. But I want it to be so much better because you would think, okay, all that's left is arty, let's switch rounds. But you'd be shocked. You'll be lucky. You'll be hard pressed to even get that kind of damage. So honestly, if you're in a critical battle, I'd stick to the APCR most of the time. If you have time to play around and test this ammo, do it in a training room with a friend. But, you know, whatever. You might get lucky and somehow get some awesome damage. The only thing we haven't been able to tell is whether it has an increased chance to really damage crew or internal components. You can't really tell if that's happening from, you know, your end of the tank. So unless somebody tells you what's happening, again, you might have to test it in a training room or something. You know, if I knew that it was really just destroying the crew more than other ammo, that could be interesting. But Right now, stick to the APCR until we know otherwise. I will, of course, keep everyone up to date if I find anything else. But that's that. I think we've covered this tank in great detail. The other stuff I really don't go into because you can see the stats are just there. Some people apparently are keeping this gun because of the rate of fire, because it does decent pen and damage as well. But I don't know. This thing, when it hits, and that is that. Let's go into another battle. Otherwise, you know, I'm a big fan of the Centurion line in reality. I think they're great tanks. I don't think they're necessarily being done justice within the game. The armor is really pathetic. I don't know historically if it's known for its, you know, for its armor. Probably not necessarily, but it's just a little disappointing to get ammo racked all the time and to get penned from every single angle. You know, and I'm the kind of guy that says, rule of thumb, don't get hit in the first place. I don't get tanks for their armor, and neither should you. You should get them because of their overall general performance. But the armor is so bad sometimes for certain tanks that it gets frustrating, you know, when lighter tanks are just eating you up.
Time to roll out.
And I think I'm going to take the train tracks. Depends on how much backup I'm actually going to have here. Lots of artillery. Ah, those GW Panthers. Alright. Gotta be careful here. Yeah, I guess I'll take this route. The acceleration, once you get the 950 horsepower engine, is not bad. You can hit your max pretty quickly. But it's not that fast when you're talking about, oh, I need to flank something, because your tank is large. If you size this up next to a lot of the other tanks, even a heavy, this is a big tank. I mean, you have to remember that this was actually a main battle tank. This is when they started getting rid of the medium-heavy tank destroyer designation. This is where they wanted an all-purpose vehicle that did everything. Take care of infantry, take care of armor. There's a Centurion Mark 1, T-44 is hanging out in the back there. That area there is where he's good is not bad because you have the bush cover and you also have some hull down. The problem is you're open to artillery, which is why I'm just trying to hold back a little bit here. We are a support unit. We want to be careful about how we push in here. See if we can see anything on the flanks here. Everybody's pushing up. T-44 already taking a hit. Sure he didn't want that to happen, but that could have been me. Not sure where that shot went. Went too low. Oh, snap. Alright, it's time to leave. I'm not going to deal with this. I don't want to use my kit yet because I always worry about getting racked. Time to move. Yeah, we're the easiest targets, that's why. That's the only problem with the train tracks and why I don't like necessarily attacking it. But we are pushing into their base, so I am going to back these guys up. This could be risky, but we are already hitting their artillery. So let's just go for it and move instead of staying still and getting hit by them. When you have this many people up front, you know, it might be time to go for it. We've got the IS-3 here, which we might be able to finish off with a top shot. Oh, stupid SideStrafe. You aimed right for his gun mantle. There's a weak spot above his gun that you can pen, and I wanted to go for it, but I just tripped up with the mouse, and that's that. So now they're looking into this direction. Where are you guys going? Ugh. There we go, 438. Still worried about the artillery being a problem. Let's just go ahead and... Oh, watch that T-34. He's done. What are you going to be looking at, Chief? What you looking at? Oh, thank you. I love shooting at your rear and side armor. Where's he at? Oh, reload, 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 reload. Time. Too late. He's dead. Okay, keep moving. Let's just keep trying to move up. We'll move into this angle. Artillery. Okay. Well, we're actually losing. But hopefully we can finish the arty. I'm going to have to just keep pushing in here. This is the problem, though. Assaulting arty like this. I just don't have the speed. Centurion Mark 1 is with me. I've got to use the repair kit. Ah, come on. The speed is just not there. Alright, there's one. They're focusing on that direction, so we want to come about here. And he's got cover behind the house. He's done. Where the other one's at, though, I am not sure. Where did that come from? Back there? He's going to light him up. We are loaded. He's done. One more piece. Just keep moving. I don't think we're actually going to win this, though, because of the other tanks that have managed to push in. If we can take out the arty... Tiger P. Snap, crackle, pop. I'm going to get behind the only cover I have, which is this thing, which will take one shot. And I want to get this one nice and precise. 404. There's the GW, which might hit me, though. Tiger P is down. What's that GW looking at? Where is he at? He's behind the hill. I have to go for this cap. If they come out, though... He's done. Good job. Artillery has moved to a safe position. But they might... Oh, no. I lost the Mark 1. Oh, crap. KV. I have no more kit. And I'm exposed. I'm going to get ammo racked. Retract me. Finished him off. Who else is near me? Super Pershing. Great. He can pen me easily. But I can pen him too. Oh man, another two Super Pershings? Come on, guy. Where are you guys at? I'm dead. Alright. Get behind cover. There's another one taken with me. Fall back. His gun is not that potent, but he's the only one left. I'm just going to take cover and save myself at this point. My driver's toast. Hold the line. Oh, a bounce. Thankfully, his gun is not great. And there's my arty backup. What is up, Chief? Oh, that didn't work. All right. Arty, you want to finish him? Or T-28 prototype? Thank you very much. Oh, man. Hoo-wee. I thought that was going to be a loss, but somehow we managed to pull a win. And take a few with us. 3,611. Again, we were higher tier in that game, so some of their guns really just... the Super Pershing gun, what, 90 millimeter? Not incredible, you know, and he could pen, but the amount of damage it was doing, I just had enough hit points, so thankfully that worked out, and the artillery didn't manage to smack me. So, again, that was fantastic. Take a look at some of these extra stats. I always like to read over the stats because you do learn a lot about your performance and what your tank is capable of. Again, we were higher tier on that one. There wasn't really too much to contend with us. You can pen, I mean, again, tier 10 gun, guys. There, I mean, I could just destroy everything on that. I mean, even the annoying KV5 that showed up, it was like, oh, not annoying anymore. I can pretty much hit you wherever I want. Super Pershing, even, I was getting through. I don't know if I had hit the cupola or if I was actually just getting through the extra armor on the mantle, because even though it was spaced, it just might not have been enough to deal with these armor-piercing composite rigid shells. But, you know, I think that's going to be it for this one, guys. I want to definitely leave off on a high note because I'm feeling good about that victory. I still want to get my crew to 100%. And I think I'm probably going to do a follow-up video with this, or I'm actually going to play this tank a lot more. It, in a way, has become one of my favorite tanks within the game. I don't know how much I'm looking forward to the tier 10 medium, but I am enjoying the Centurions. Big fan of them in real life, and that's why I wanted them. I was waiting for them for a long time. Since I had heard the Brits were finally going to make an appearance in the game, I just really enjoy these tanks. In the North American server cluster, there's just not a lot of British armor on the battlefield, and I'm not sure why that is, whether there's some sort of animosity or perhaps they've acquired a bad reputation from the start. Clearly, most immature and uneducated tankers within this game think if the tank doesn't have armor, it's terrible. I don't want it. I gotta have the best armor and the best gun, and that's all that matters because I want to take a billion hits, drive out in the middle of the open, and just be able to smash into other tanks. That's how you play this game. Rush, rush, rush. Wrong. A million times wrong, wrong, and wrong again, sir. Take some time to research, watch replays, check out the pro players, go into the forums, read the wikis, watch the YouTube videos. There are so many different ways to play these tanks. So many underdog units out there that can well outperform the heaviest, slow-moving, well-armored tanks, because sometimes it comes down to accuracy and mobility, and there's all these other factors that make a good tank, and you're really missing out if you're going to be stubborn about the fact that some tanks just don't have good armor. There are some bad tanks in this game, granted, but generally they're pretty well balanced considering the amount. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, always form your own opinions and do your own research before trying things out. I will see you on the next one.